Okay, Brickbot, and we're on to the next Hello Carbot Season 10 to get the Hello Carbot mini treatment. Except for the combiner characters, except if they can function on their own as cars, and except for the multi-changers, except if the multi-changer is simple enough. Yeah, so for the Season 10 minis, all they have are just the Giant Loader team and the Mighty Row. Everyone else was Bangs, or those Guardian Defiant. Yep, this is just all of them in one video. Yeah, so we have the Giant Loader team, Loaders, Sonic Boom, and I am still not sure whether this is Phaser or Pager, but Pager's kind of stuck, but it could also be spelled Phaser. I mean, it's just the same mini box style with the vehicle and the robots, but these two are looking to the right instead of the left. And they're contrasting color to the side. Yeah, I suppose these two are pretty thin because they're pretty thin cars, and then Loaders a little bit taller. Yeah, and all the standard stuff here. Let's see, the release date was February of 23. So this came around April, so that checks out. And the front of the box is nice front and center. And a nice front view of the cars there. It's just the same paper wrapping for all of them. Though I'm not quite liking the paper bags because they can be easily disposed of and hard to stuff back in. So I guess if you just want to put it away, that's probably the easiest thing to do, and probably not going to damage it that much. Just gonna look at Phaser and Sonic Boom at once, since they're basically engineered twins. And similar but not identical type of sports car modes. I guess they're nice futuristic paneling and greebling. And yet, I suppose they are very faithful downscalings of their bigger toys. Well, the medium-sized toys for Hello Carbot. And then, yeah, down to the pretty black and undivided top windows sections, and I guess the bit of the silver headlights here, like bigger ones for Phaser, and the big old spoilers. Yeah, it looks like their wheel rims are identical. Yeah, so apart from many other minor things, I think this mini Phaser is in a darker shade of blue than the bigger Phaser. Transformations should be identical with each other and with their bigger toys. Yep, watch out for the ball sockets. Yeah, I guess they're just simply knee down, foot down. Okay, the only real difference is instead of the head being attached to the central block hinging forward, there's just an additional flap here, which you can tuck out the little head here. Okay, don't forget the back kibble. Yeah, just fold that over so that there's a little kibble bump. Same dealio here, fold that up. Yeah, tab on the back of the feet. Be sure to get the head out before putting the back kibble in. Oh yeah, and good on them for having the tab in one side of the foot instead of being like a split. Although that's not quite symmetrical, but probably not much of a big issue. See if we can get those spoilers in the hands. Phaser and Sonic Boom were like very basic flat looking car robots, and the mini ones are too, and even more plain and flat without any of the silver accent colors or minor color accents. But without those, it doesn't look that bad since they were so plain anyway. Yeah, I guess, Phaser is nice blue with the secondary yellow, and then Sonic Boom with the secondary red. It's supposed to... faces are painted pretty well. Yeah, I guess just two accent colors there. I think there's a bit missing from Phaser compared to his bigger one, but otherwise it's pretty identical and similar but not identical molding with the mid-ribs and the chest area and the Carbot symbol there. Very basic, the very basic plank arms without any elbows this time, but it's still as hollow as ever as the big ones. And of course the knees, pretty obtuse knees, no thigh ovals of course, and then down to the little inward, very stubby looking feet that kind of vaguely look like fat fingers. And then he gets a bit of a interesting kibble variety cleanup here. Yeah, otherwise, not much to talk about these little guys here, other than their characters, which I would say for the bigger toys, but I don't have them. I have a little more to say about Mini Loader. Yeah, so he is that double car carrier, and the bigger Loader was that colorful, so the colors here are pretty spot on, even the silver. It is missing some yellow from this separate cockpit section, but you could argue without the yellow, it does flow in better. Yeah, as you can see, there's a side here, like a nice airy space. And the back is pretty plain. I mean, this does function. You can like fold this down and then fold this down for a car to ramp up it. Although, yeah, even without the sword, which is on top instead of like underside, you can get it all the way here. Which actually does kind of dislodge the from the back though, so watch out for that. But then you can remove that, and then you're left with these parts forming things. So you can get a little cab out of it. It's a nice little fictional truck cab. The robot arms aren't that noticeable. He can also just be a dump truck. Yeah, just dumping something there. I've shown these separately until now because yeah, like they are too big or too small for each other. Yeah, I mean, look at like the car is almost as long as the truck, and yeah, so it definitely can't be loaded into loader. Yeah, I mean, it's so frustrating with just the cars, just a uniform size of cars like that is mandated that it all has to be the same width. Yeah, and such. That's why you get like tiny little buses and trucks next to like normal size big cars, which. Yeah, I mean, yeah, look tiny next to them. Yeah, I really wish Loader was at a bigger price point, and the only way I can expect that happening is from the Chinese Hello Carbot with their upscaled minis, but then Season 10 is still several years off, and there's no guarantee they'll do this Loader. Yeah, so yeah, I'm just stuck with a tiny little truck. The only cars Loader can load are Micro Machines. For the mini transformation. Yeah, this is very parts former intensive because of like there's like 4 main components, like the cab, the feet, and the trailer rack. So just start with the main body. Yeah, simple arms here. The central components might be a little tricky. Yeah, just make sure to flip those to the side to form the side skirts, and then there's the front flap here, which basically folds up to reveal the head. And I'm pretty sure these feet were only meant for the combiner in the big toy, but you have to have these feet because it can't stand on these little outward tabs, which you just have to slide into. Yeah, and make sure the longest heel struts are on the inside, and so that the A stance matches. As for the trailer, yeah, I suppose you just fold it up like this and then match it up to the hole here, the trapezoid. I guess that's just the only one connection point, and then equip weapon. Yeah, so Mini Loader just looks like the big Loader, like the distinct from Optimus Prime type of truck robot cab with a big trailer just folded up on his back, which could be detached into like a flying drone, but it is not meant to be a dedicated flying drone, so it doesn't fold forward, so you're kind of stuck with like a half thing. I mean, just like a plank thing, bit of a plank ramp. So this is half functional. Hey, but at least it kind of looks like a command console for this one. Yeah, but if you take that off, you can see much more of the robot here. Just pretty simple, really. And the nicer the grill that folds up to form the entire chest. Yeah, still like that technique, and the little side skirts. As for articulation, yeah, ball socket all around, outward. All the way up for transformation. On those fingerless hands, again with the fingerless hands. No head, just like the bigger toy. Ball socket forward, and not much in the back. Skirt flapping away. I mean, the back skirts. No knees. I guess it has to go somewhere else, and that he loses that on knees. And then nothing at the foot. Yeah, so very basic, and even worse because no knees. Hey, at least it's better than no elbows. And in bot mode with Phaser and Sonic Boom. Yeah, this is not right. They're the exact same height. They should be much shorter, maybe up to the legs. Yeah, but, so that's a really. I'm so annoyed because they're meant to be a team like this, and then you have these out of scale. And even with the Storm and outscaled like the other cars, at least Storm was taller, but no, they're about the same height here, just more wider. And then how do you expect the thing to combine? If the thing could combine, but it's not dedicated to combine? I mean, yeah, it was pretty simple, really, but, you know, these feet don't go all the way further, so just stuck with that, and I guess there would be an extra connecting tab here, then... There you go! Mini giant loader with giant hulking hands! That is ridiculous, You might wish this could work, but, you know, this is the best you can do. Just imagine it. Just imagine play. The mini car that could combine would be really cool. This is pretty simple enough, but no. Almost forgot the oversized headcrest. Condensed size comparison. Titan Master, Micromaster, Micromeister, 4-class Transformers, and a Mini Coon. Now on to Mini Mighty Bro, the little cute buggy changer. 2-mode, 2-step changer. Yeah, pretty orange side. And the car mode off to the side, it's not in center, it's off center. Yeah, and this is a pretty short box compared to the others, you know, which are relatively longer or shorter. This is pretty tall, it's squat. I always like doing it from the front here. Yep, the rippable paper bag. So this Mini Mighty Road is a nice little buggy type. And comparing that with the bigger Mighty Road, yeah, details are there. Down to the little propeller-shaped, like, hubcap wheels. Yeah, the details are pretty much there. Then it is, of course, missing a lot of paint, especially the blue. Yeah, there is no blue top here, so this is just all black, so... Kind of looks like a bubble cockpit. At least it has a painted orange. And a bit of silver grill here, no black bumper for reasons. Yeah, otherwise, yeah, it's a nice little size of a buggy. And it almost scales with the Bang mini cars in the intro. Transformations should be similar to the T-Row, the tiny T-Row mode. Yeah, like flaps out here, then flaps out here. But manually flip 2 separate feet. And yeah, that's tiny T-Row. The only mini triple changer, because this is like just like a more of a mid mode, more than dedicated parts for a third mode. Yeah, I guess it has the details there. I mean, it is missing a bit of orange. Could have used some orange there, but it has a raised Carbots logo instead of like an engraved Carbot logo, and of course no handle. So he does have a flatter chest that doesn't jut out as much. Yeah, of course he does have the cute little eyes, but they're actually just kind of molded in there instead of printed on there, so they're the kind of black eyes thing. Annoyingly obvious screws in the back here that kind of just molded right between the antennae. Almost kind of looks like bare ears. And there is no extra flap for this, so he just has a bit of a kibble overhang there. And then, yeah, really simple arms, just blue arms, just molded with the blue, I guess. Didn't have enough for black, so it's just this, like, pinned in just for attachment and no articulation function there, and tiny little nubbins of feet. It has a bit of a less functionality than the bigger T-Row. That can't do much anyway, you just kind of little waddle, little arms out. So unlike T-Row's auto transformation to Mighty Row, this is all manual, so yeah, you just manually fold those feet down, and then you manually fold those feet down. And then fold back the head, and then you have a tiny Mighty Row, mini Mighty Row. Yeah, I say the head is spot on. Yeah, that is like the exact color layout for his relatively simplistic head. And I guess he is a little bit more stable, since he doesn't have spring-loaded feet. And a bit of a heels here, and then he does have his weapons molded in the same blue, unlike the dark blue here. So which he can hold in his tiny little hands. Again, they're fingerless hands. Yeah, the tiny little guns that can't combine together. And you also, It's a bit annoying that I guess the side skirt flaps means both of these toys have to be in an A stance. And though this does get more manual articulation, it can't do much because of the aforementioned kibble. I mean, that much jetting around, you can't really make him stand straight. You have to have him like spread out or it's off to the side. I mean, so even though he gains manual separate legs on like this, it's not much use. Yeah, you can get some poses there. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the mini Mighty Row has better legs than this one, but worse arms. Worse arms. Because, yeah, even 2 points is pretty simple, but he only has, like, the ball socket in, no out. He can't move his arms out because of the accursed pivot in torso shoulders. But there's no outward. Really, just you can only do inward hugging. You can kind of put his hands together like this at least. So also, yeah, that kibble does not fold down all the way, unlike this one that has more space for it for a double hinge. It had this. No, this is not even a double hinge. It's just a hinge mounted outward. But this one is just not high enough. Condensed size comparison, Titan Master, Micromaster, Micromeister, 4-class Transformers, and a Mini-Coon. I don't know, I guess this Mini-Wave is pretty weak, I guess. It's just a combiner team just turned into separate cars, and these two were pretty unremarkable on their own, and really their best use was as a combiner, but now these are on their own. They're just pretty unremarkable sports cars. Generic blocky sports cars. At least the other standalone cars, I think, were just cooler kind of cars, but nah, maybe not these. Yeah, and also a tiny loader. I mean, at least this functions well, but, just that size. The size discrepancy is just really annoying me. And sometimes bigger spring-loaded toys getting smaller, manually articulated toys is better, like, because of articulation, but, Mighty Hero's not really doing it that well because of the legs and the limited upper articulation. Yeah, I guess the other two modes were okay, but yeah, for this main robot mode, it's just a little weird. Yeah, so I can't tell which one is better because, the upper half is better here, but the lower half is a half better here, but, again, the kibble. Yeah, at least this is cheaper. At least the main advantage of minis are always they're cheaper, so you can just sample this character instead of the bigger character. Well, maybe the rest of the wave in the next season's mini car boss will fare better.